On the eve of the government's tax forum, unions are asking for new incentives to help local manufacturers survive. Treasurer Wayne Swan says everything's on the table at the forum, but the opposition says it's just more talk and no action from the federal government. The tax forum follows tonight's community cabinet meeting in Hobart, where the Prime Minister said jobs are at the top of her agenda. Political correspondent Tom Eagleton reports.
The Prime Minister's been beating the government's drum with locals ahead of tonight's community cabinet in Tasmania. She announced the state will host Phase 3 of the NBN rollout and a new $8 million innovation fund for Tasmanian businesses.
You never know where I'll pop up next.
As cabinet ministers fanned out across the state on a charm offensive.
I'm Kevin Rudd and I'm in Australia today, so I'm very happy about that.
But the government's show of unity didn't go entirely to plan.
I'll turn to Kevin for an answer to that question.
Thanks very much. The question. Is that on?
Wayne Swan's hosting another forum tomorrow in Canberra.
I can tell you're all enthusiastic and ready for the tax forum, is that right? No?
Interest groups are already pressing their claims ahead of the tax forum here tomorrow. Struggling retailers want the government to help revive sales by dropping tariffs on clothes and shoes. But manufacturers of textiles and footwear are outraged and they'll oppose that plan. The unions, meanwhile, want the government to encourage the builders of big new resource projects to use more Australian steel.
And one area we're looking at is tax incentives through accelerated depreciation on locally manufactured goods that are going into these resource projects.
Wayne Swan's trying to keep expectations real.
There'll be plenty of people running around offering suggestions about how we can cut tax, but I think there'll be fewer people going around saying how those tax cuts can be funded.
But he also says he welcomes all suggestions.
People can say whatever they like at the tax forum, but the government has simply made the point that we have existing commitments which have been the subject of an immense amount of consultation and discussion in the community.
In other words, there will be no change to the GST rate as called for in the government's own Henry tax review. Wayne Swan will also ignore Liberal state treasurers who want the states to have access to a share of income tax revenue over and above the GST.
So it'll be a mixture of things that might conceivably make a difference to tax policy and things that won't make any difference at all.
Calling all these people to Canberra and delivering nothing will simply reinforce the view that the Gillard government is all talk and no delivery.
But one Conservative political voice is backing talk with action. Former Rose Tattoo frontman Angry Anderson's joined the National Party and announced he'll seek pre-selection for the next election. It's a political conversion for the rock singer who once wrote a song in praise of striking workers at Eureka Stockade. The song's now a theme tune for the anti-carbon tax movement, at whose rallies Mr Anderson has become a fixture.
We are driven by forces that we don't fully understand.
The singer also has strong ties to the poker machine and club industry. Tom Eagleton, Late Line.